How's it, everyone? Hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome to How's It Cousins, the podcast where we take a look at the unique people of the world and the interesting things they do. We talk about them and we relate to them. Hopefully, we can help you, the audience, relate to them as well and yet hang out with us. This week's show, we are getting hype for Avengers Endgame. So what better topic than to look at the granddaddy of them all, the original MCU Avenger, none other than Iron Man, I am Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr.
How's it, Chris? Are you talking about RDJ? Yeah, man. I'm down to talk about RDJ. Let's do this.
Aloha, Alvin. Thanks for jumping into the RDJ show.
Yeah, man, totally. I'm always down to talk to you, and it's always fun. Let's do it.
All right, before we get into it, I want to remind everyone that you are watching the Housing Network. We are broadcasting this live at twitch.tv/Housing Network. So if you want to check us out, jump in the chat, interact with us. You can always find us there. Follow us on social media to always see when we're going live so you can check us out. You can come hang out with us. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Housing Network. For a collection of everything we're doing, check out housingnetwork.com. Alvin, you got anything you want to plug before we start the show?
Yes, my name is Aloha Alvin, and you can find more of me at alohalvin.com.
Awesome. So let's just jump right into in the middle. I'm not even going to start with early stuff. Iron Man, bro.
Yes.
So I remember watching the first Iron Man movie. I don't know if you do. This was in 2008.
Yes.
I remember my initial review of the movie, just thinking to myself, and I was like, man, that movie, overall, it was all right. But Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark, hands down. In my opinion, he made that movie. Like, it would not have been any good if not for him.
Okay, I gotta throw this down. So, before the movie came out, people would say, or some of my friends, because, we hear about it like, oh, there's gonna be a Marvel movie, ooh, right? So, back then, we didn't know anything. And prior to this, we had stuff like, I can't name him, and I'm sorry for shaming whoever that is, but someone doing a Captain America movie, like extremely campy Captain America movie, like dated. And so the commentary was just, I don't know if it's going to be good, man. And I'm like, of course we don't. I mean, who knows? Like there's so many adaptations that scare us. And on that note, someone else said to me, yo, Robert Downey Jr., I don't know about that. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? What's wrong with that? And then someone mentioned, well, he's had issues. I guess he's been in the news for the wrong reasons. And then I say, and I still believe in this. I don't think this is necessary for an actor to be in these shoes, but, well, the character of Iron Man has drinking problems. Like he has issues. So if you want to like talk about authenticity, then the actor who has issues of some kind as well, you know what? That actually fits better. So that's kind of crazy when I look back on it now.
So that might have been something for later in the show, but let's just jump into that, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a true statement that, Robert Downey Jr. actually had a young acting career. He started young, and he did run into problems with substance abuse. It was a known thing that he, drugs, alcohol, whatever it is, he had a fit of drug abuse problems. And right after, it was in the late 90s to early 2000s, and right after that, he started, trying to get back into it, checking into rehab, and then started acting again. So it's 100% true that he has a documented history of problems, very similar to the character of Tony Stark. I wonder if that played into part of the role. I had to imagine that it did.
See, I don't actually know for sure, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like it fits better. See, like on that same note though, see, it's not casting just because, for whatever reason, whoever the it guy or it girl is, like if that was part of it, whoever was casting knew what they were doing. And I love that. I love that they know it, the material, and I love that they care. So that's pretty cool.
From what I read, so this movie is directed by Jon Favreau.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Hogan in the movie.
Happy. Yeah.
From what I read, it seems like they wanted someone who could really get into the role. They compare it to, he would be like the Johnny Depp of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
the face of everything.
Yeah, the face.
He would get into it, and he would own the role. Prior to that, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. had, I think, an Academy Award nomination previously. So he was already a pretty storied actor even prior to Iron Man.
Oh, totally. Okay, wait, hold on. See, I need to say this, and actually, I was gonna say this about Pepper, aka Gwyneth Paltrow in this case. So this is a very common thing. All right, you get whoever you want for the main male character. That's a thing. You spend all the money there, and whoever the girl is or woman, we don't care. Cast whoever you want, put them on screen. We don't care. And I remember thinking, because like after the movie, because I really enjoyed it, I was like, Gwyneth Paltrow, I know that name. You know, like that was a big name even back then, and of course now even more so. She's in multiple stuff or whatever. She's a famous lady. I was like, they easily could have cast someone else, easily. And I'm bad at casting, and that just says something right there. Like, I am bad at casting if they would have gotten someone else, but they didn't. They chose to get her, and she was awesome.
It's crazy to think that that movie over 10 years ago now is what really started everything. Iron Man, of all characters to start a, we'll say, multi-movie franchise off with.
Yes.
You never would have thought that prior, right? Remember the X-Men movies that came out before that? They were a big thing, and you could have thought that maybe the X-Men could carry an entire series of movies, which they sort of did and sort of didn't. But Iron Man is not, or was not at that time, if we can make the comparison, an A-list Marvel hero.
Okay. I gotta say this because I've heard that commentary before as well. For me, he was always pretty up there, actually. Now that's juiced because I read a lot of comics, but I always knew who he was. I knew about Tony Stark. I knew about like the Avengers, like old school Avengers, like Grey Hulk kind of old. You know, like for me, it was never that issue, but clearly it was for other people. So I'm surprised by that. The equivalent, I guess, for me would be if someone asks you to try this vegetable you've never eaten before, here's a whole handful, Chris. I'm gonna take a little bite. I'm gonna deal with that. So like maybe that's what that was, because in my mind it was never that. But clearly, I've heard this more than once. Surely the people making decisions were like, whoa, just in case we don't want to mess up a big name, let's start off with a small name. Because I never took it that way, but I know other people thought he was B-list at best.
I wonder if that was part of the logic, though, to start it off with Iron Man, who wasn't like a Captain America type person, you know? Or maybe it was the humanization of it all, even though Tony Stark is incredibly rich, that in the end, he's just a dude. He's not superpowered. He's a dude in a suit, right? So
that's true. Now, that's very true. So, like, I remember I was talking to my friend's mother a long time ago, and she watches like zero action stuff, and she's like, "Oh wow, this is great! I really enjoyed it." Oh really? So then I'm talking to his whole family, and the father says this stuff. He likes to do woodworking and building stuff. So we're just talking about it, and then I say, "You know that scene where Iron Man has essentially a floating hologram and he interacts with it, and the whole room is like, yes, it was ridiculous." You know, it was such a fun moment, and in retrospect, that kind of stuff, it may or may not exist right now. To my knowledge, I don't think I'm going to see it anytime soon. But that idea of what it was, especially for like building, say, car parts or whatever, it makes perfect sense compared to I'm going to touch this crystal and telepathically communicate with someone. You know, like that kind of stuff is really hard for some people, like really hard. You know, so Iron Man in that way is very grounded. I never really thought about that, but it's true. It's very grounded.
It's funny in that, you know, in the beginning of Iron Man 1, he's in the war zone, right? And he gets taken captive.
Oh, yeah.
It was so relevant, I guess, you know, to things at the time as well. And I wonder if that was part of it. I wonder if that added to the appeal.
That's a good point. On that note, and the dialogue, because all the dialogue was just kicking it. It was great. There's that part where he's talking to one soldier. He's like, yeah, whatever, you know, we can do photos. And then a female soldier starts talking to him, and he's like, whoa, you're a girl. And he's like, well, but then that's kind of the point, right? Like, I didn't even think of you as a girl. We just kind of, okay, anyway, moving on. I was like, that was a good point too. You know, like, all of that stuff just fits. And are there women in the army now? Totally. That's a thing. I feel like it was all on point, and you're right about that.
What do you think about this being Iron Man's last stand? You know, we talked about the beginning of Iron Man.
Yes.
As we've seen this character through multiple movies, 3 of his own solo movies, and then appearing in a whole bunch of other ones, including Civil War and also Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, lot of rumors saying that this could be RDJ's last appearance as Tony Stark / Iron Man. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so there's multiple angles to attack right now. I will say the first thing, because I told myself I wanted to discuss this. Okay, so Hugh Jackman, he played Wolverine for a pretty long time. Do you
20
actually
years,
know?
right? Isn't it 20 years?
It was 17.
17, okay.
Yeah, I say that because I was reading an article about it, and I'm like, is that right? So I had to do the math. I looked it up. I'm like, dude, 17 years. You know, my the commentary for him, especially because it's Wolverine. Wolverine kind of lives forever. And the comment that was made by an author or someone else was, Wolverine might be immortal, but Hugh Jackman ages. You know, like, keeping it real here. I know you guys love him as Wolverine, but he does age. And I'm like, fair points, you know? And when you think of Iron Man, like, dude, to me, it's RDJ, period. That's just how it is. Like, if somehow the character of Tony Stark were to die, like, actual die, you know what? It shouldn't be another Tony Stark. It should just be another guy or a woman, just unrelated already. That, to me, it's totally cemented together.
I think, again, and maybe that was just the impressionable side of me in 2008, but definitely seeing him, you know, with the mustache and in the getup and everything, like, yep, it's 100%. That is the human epitome of the comic book character. That was one of the closest I've ever seen to where you take the character off the page and put him into real life. That was fantastic portrayal. And I agree with you in that if this is the end, then maybe he should die off or something, man. That could be it. I don't know. We'll get into our predictions later. That's going to be a little later in the show as to what actually we think might happen.
Definitely agree. So here's the thing. With Logan, there were all the movies, and then towards the end, I guess higher ups were like, I don't know if we want to fund you guys anymore. And the guys like Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart, they're like, okay, how about this script? And then there's a new script, and that's the movie that became Logan. And if you think about it, it's actually a lot less money, you know, and I don't know if Iron Man will be able to do that. I feel like everything that is Iron Man, well, his character is definitely all about money, but there's a ton of special effects. Anyway, what I'm getting at is, when Logan wrapped up, Hugh Jackman was like, this is an appropriate love letter to the fans. Like, you've stuck with me through the ride. We appreciate you. Enjoy this movie. So me and my friends, we used to call this the Mortal Kombat 2 thing, where it's a movie. Yeah, I guess you remember that term. Yeah.
Yes.
It's one movie with a ton of characters. I have a friend, she absolutely loves Chadwick Boseman, and she absolutely loves Black Panther. So for the first half of this Avengers double, I guess, whatever, she was like, okay, you know, how much Black Panther is there? And I'm like, okay, whoa, first of all, he's in it. But second of all, if you go there only for Black Panther, you're going to be a little sad. He's in it, but like, it's an Avengers movie, you know, there's a lot going on. And she's kind of like, oh man. And I'm like, yeah, it's not the same animal as what I imagine you were thinking of for the movie following Black Panther. So in that same sense, an Iron Man, you know, love letter to the fans, which I'm sure they're going to try to make this, if this is the end, I'd be like, it's still not the same. It would be awesome if he had his own thing and it ended that way.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's not easy though. Cause for like, okay, I'm not anti-formula. Some people are. They'll see a formula on screen. Oh, bro, you guys doing the same thing, blah, blah, blah. But I'm okay with that. And anyway, one of the formulas I noticed is they don't really do solo movies anymore. Thor's most recent solo movie had Hulk in it. And then Captain America's solo movie had a ton of other people who were not Captain America, which I love the crap out of. It was a great movie. In this case, I mean, okay, like, check this out, right? Say it was...
Bruh, have you seen Captain Marvel?
Okay, fair point. However, that's a fair point. However, she's new. Okay. I think that's part of the equation.
Yeah.
See? But that's a good point. So, I mean, but Fury was all up in there. And I'm not complaining. Hey,
Okay.
So, yeah. It wasn't, like, alone. So, hard call. But, yeah, like, okay. So, here's the other thing. And this is sad because right now I would vote yes because I never would have before. So, Iron Man 1 comes out. Everybody's having fun. Iron Man 2, cool. Oh, Iron Man 3. Oh, man, still going. And I said to random people because we're just chatting, I'm like, how would you feel about Iron Man 5? And like, yeah, see? And I'm like, how about Iron Man 7? And they're like, no, man, you can't go to 7. See, like, yeah, see, you're feeling it right now. Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And do
So
you think that's just because it would be too much of one person or one character?
I'm not sure. See, but absolutely back then, that's why I said Iron Man 5 or Iron Man 7, because I felt that way. Right now, it's like, don't take him, man. Don't take him away. Let him stay, man. Don't take him away. Let him be in more movies, man.
Well, I mean, like Fast and the Furious went up to what, 8 already, right?
Yes. Oh, man, it's a lot.
How does
But
that
yes.
work?
See, no, that's a fair point. See, some people would say, shame on you with the same old formula, but I'd be like, no, if you like cars and you like, guys punching and kicking and guns, then enjoy. And I enjoyed part 8 a lot, actually. On that note, I believe I will enjoy Shaw and
Hobbs?
Thank you. I believe I'll enjoy that too. I think it'll be fun. It is my formula. Guys doing crazy things off the side of a building. Man, sign me up. So, yeah.
We'll segue a little bit because we did a whole bunch of Iron Man talk. I agree with you in that it would be great if this was a swan song to him, if it is the last movie. We'll see if it is. We'll get back into the MCU, but RDJ also similarly, once he made the Iron Man comeback, we'll say, the debut, he also did another series called Sherlock Holmes. Did you see Sherlock Holmes?
Oh my God. Okay. Hold on. So, oh man, I just got shocked with energy in a great way. So on AlohaAlvin.com, I write different things. And one of the things is, anyone hearing this, throw it in the comments or whatever, throw it at Chris later, whenever. One thing I've asked myself is, what is the best trilogy of all time? And that's a hard and unfair question because some candidates only have 2 movies. But Sherlock Holmes 1 and Sherlock Holmes 2, Game of Shadows, holy crap, I love those movies. It's disgusting how much I love those movies, actually. I loved it. I just loved it so much. Can't wait for the third one. So, my brain just went away for a bit. Go ahead.
Is there a third one?
I don't know. I assume so, yeah. The way they're playing it off, the Rachel McAdams character is not dead, or at least she was portrayed as dead, but my gut says she's not dead. And I can't imagine there not being a third one.
All right, so here's the point of me bringing that up at this point.
Sorry, go ahead. Yes.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So, question to you then is,
Yes.
Would Sherlock Holmes 1 and 2 have been as popular if there was no Iron Man?
Whew. That's interesting. That is interesting. My gut says yes. Having said that, reality probably would say no. And what I mean is, so there was someone, I'm going to assume it was Leonardo DiCaprio, but there was someone who was like in a movie and it was huge, probably Titanic. Anyway, he then went to do theater. And then someone asked one of his co-stars, hey, how come Leonardo's name is not everywhere? Like, why are you not plastering it everywhere? And the response was, well, we want to do a play like normal people. It's fun for us to actually be acting on stage. And we don't want a whole lot of screaming in the audience the entire time he's on stage. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. For them, they wanted to dial it back. They wanted less, I guess, recognition in that way. So it's a weird mix. For me, Sherlock Holmes is so divorced from Marvel that I'm okay with that. I also I do believe I would have went to see it regardless. Like if there was no Iron Man, I believe I would have went to that. Having said that, other people, I don't know, cause people do that. Well, I loved him in Iron Man. Probably love him in this. I should go check it out. So I don't roll like that. Do you?
So we got Sparta in the Twitch chat saying that, hey, it's RDJ. He would have made the movie just as great, but the reception would have been less received. And I agree. If I'm being completely honest, I think if it was just RDJ and if Iron Man did not exist, that movie did not happen, and I just saw a poster for Sherlock Holmes, I don't know that I would have been as excited to see it. I don't know that I would have been like, oh yeah, I must see that. Because Sherlock Holmes, I remember seeing like right when it came out.
Yeah.
And because it was the same year, I think, if I remember, or very close to when Iron Man came out, not long afterwards, or maybe it was the next year, but it was basically the next one, I think.
I get that. I don't remember the timeline. I get that. Okay, I'll say this. So, Mark Wahlberg. I am not anti-Mark Wahlberg, but I don't feel like I am pro-Mark Wahlberg either. Having said that, there's at least like 7 movies with Mark Wahlberg in it. And I'm like, damn, man, I'm enjoying this. Whoever his agent is amazing. All right. Like Shooter, that's him being a sniper. I'm enjoying this movie. And then he's in the Transformer films. I enjoyed those movies too. You know, he's in all this other stuff. And I'm like, but never, ever, ever have I said, hey, you know what? Mark Wahlberg's in it, bro. I have to see it. I've never said that. But here I am again. You know, I kept feeling that way. Like, oh, here I am again in the theater. And there he is, Mark Wahlberg, once again. That's a weird thing for me. You know, like, I guess I could say that's how I normally operate. It's just, do I want to see the movie regardless of who's in it? On that note, say RDJ were to crank out something right now, I would be like, I don't know yet. Well, we'll see what's up, you know? If it was a Sherlock Holmes movie, you know, take all my money right now, let's go, you know? If it was a Marvel movie, of course. But if it was something else, I would then judge again on its own merits. So I think I'm in the minority, though. I think most people do roll the way you're describing, the way Sparta thinks.
Well, see, I won't say that I would see every RDJ movie from now on till forever. I think it was more after seeing him play Tony Stark and then thinking about how that would fit as Sherlock Holmes was what was most exciting.
Okay. I can see that.
Because according to the IMDb / everything else on the internet, Tropic Thunder also came out right around that same time. And I don't remember being super excited to see that.
Correct. I still have not seen it. But I've heard many good things. Apparently it's really stupid and really funny. My friends like it.
So in this movie, it's a comedy, right? It's a Ben Stiller comedy. And yes. RDJ plays a character who, I guess, dyes his skin black to get into a black person role.
Yes.
So it's a very unique take on, I guess, adapting yourself to a different type of character and living in a role. I'm pretty sure I have to read this again, but I'm pretty sure he got another award nomination for this.
Oh, nice. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, see, actually, another is an Academy Awards nomination for Tropic Thunder.
Dude, nice. Wow. I don't know anything. I just know it's a quote unquote stupid movie, but my friends thought it was hilarious. So I applaud a Ben Stiller movie of any kind getting nominated. Good for him and them. Good for them.
From the Twitch chat, marketing for the movie. Sherlock Holmes could have been more advertised in Tropic Thunder. That could be the case too. I can see Sherlock Holmes being a Guy Ritchie movie and having the bigger budget because, you know, a Ben Stiller movie, not to say Ben Stiller's low budget, but it's not quite as big of a production, right?
I get you. Yeah. Totally.
So,
well, I mean, okay, check this out, right? Like, let's say I'm talking to someone from overseas. They don't know who RDJ is. You know, they don't know who Ben Stiller is. But for a lot of people, you say Sherlock Holmes, they're like, oh, okay. Like, just sign me up. You know, like, that's how big that name is, too. So you're marrying two huge names. So it does make sense in that way. That's a good call from chat.
The real question is, and I'm going to look this up real quick as I'm saying it, I wonder what else he's been in since there. There's a few other movies.
I was going to say, this is the hard thing with being so badass at one role, right? Like, okay, so I make fun of myself for this, but I enjoyed the Hannibal movies so much. Anytime I see Anthony Hopkins, he's always Lecter. Always. Even when he's Thor's dad, he's still Lecter in my head. Like his face just does that. And I feel bad. I'm like, damn it, man. I've seen you in other things. You were cool as Zorro's teacher. You know, you're Thor's dad, but he's still Lecter. That face is just connected in my head already. It's ridiculous.
So looking at the Wikipedia filmography for RDJ, looks like after Sherlock Holmes 2, it drops off some because then the Avengers came out. He did a couple other things in between, but then it's Avengers Iron Man 3, Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming, Infinity War. So I guess it's interesting to see that over the building of this franchise, eventually I wonder if you just become that one character. It's been so long. Like I'm saying, the filmography shows that his movies, the other movies besides Marvel stuff, get less and less as the Marvel ones become bigger and bigger and more popular.
All right, I'm gonna get very real world here, and if it's too sad, we can just move along. So let's say you got two guys. First guy, he plays the same dude forever. He becomes that dude essentially in the fans' eyes. Second guy, same deal. Okay, however, first guy, actually, you know what? I'm being specific here, and I think it's okay because I'm going to back it up anyway. So the first guy, Mark Paul Gosselaar, right? man, he's Zach Morris. Oh my God, good looking and oh, so funny, all that good stuff. So people start associating him with Zach Morris. Hey man, you could do a lot worse than a cool character like that. Second guy, Dustin Diamond. You get associated with Screech.
Screech?
Yeah. See, here's the thing, right? As an actor, if like, let's say you're an actor, right? You can play anyone. That's kind of what acting is. But it's stupid because people start associating you with that character. My friend Peanut Butter, he told me once, like, yeah, I think it was Will Smith, but it was someone. And whoever it was, he was on a show or she was on a show and they were asked, or that person was asked, who do you want to be? Like, what do you want the name to be? So if it was Will Smith, let's say it was Will Smith. He would say, call me Will. And people were like, dude, you can change your name on the show. And the logic was, no. Because when I'm on the street, people would be like, hey, Steven. It's like, guys, the character's name is Steven. My name is Will. I'm an actor. I'm acting. You know, like, people have a really hard time divorcing those two things in their head. Okay. The reason why I mention all that is, imagine being treated like Screech forever. That's rough. Now, I've never met Dustin Diamond, but the dude has his own personality. You know, it's a rough thing to be pigeonholed in that way. Now, the reason why I mention all that is I think RDJ, he's in a pretty damn good place. I think it's cool to be Iron Man. I think most people feel that way. I remember reading once something about like Chris Evans, and the commentary was, yeah, man, he's like Captain America outside the set as well. I'm like, that's a huge compliment, you know? In that way, I can see it being okay. I say that because like some comedians will do scary movies because they're frustrated by being that, you know? Like Harry Potter guy, he did multiple not Harry Potter movies. Anyway, RDJ, I'm okay associating with it. My theory is, so is he.
I would probably agree. It's probably the reason why he's kept it on for so long. Either that or the millions and millions of dollars that came along with it.
You know, I want to agree. Generally, I do agree with the money motivation concept, but man, some people don't feel that way. And of course, see, I forgot who wrote this, but someone tweeted it or someone wrote it. They're like, just because I make a lot of money, people don't give a rip how I feel when I'm having a bad day. And it's like, that's true. And I don't like that either. Yeah, I think RDJ is having a good time. Okay. Go a little happier with this. So I saw this thing, I believe it was on the news. I think it was a little boy who had no hand. So he had like one hand, but was missing the other hand or something like that. So some guys at like MIT or Harvard or something, they built him a hand. And the kid was like, oh, this is badass, you know? So then they're like, hold up, let us spice this up even further. They're like, oh, what are you going to do? They had quote unquote Iron Man deliver it. So Tony Stark is standing in the room with the little boy and he's like, here you go, you know? And it's like, holy crap, you know, because to children, you are that character. There is no actor. You are the character. But yeah, awesome stuff.
I wonder how much, I believe that that's true, that you do it for so long, like you're probably that in real life, basically. After having been Iron Man for the past 10 years, right? Let's go with, where does he go from here? And this is a question from the chat as well.
Okay. Good question. I like it.
Let's say that there is no more Iron Man after Endgame.
Yeah.
Where do we cast RDJ next? What could he do?
From the point of view as a guy who loved Sherlock Holmes 1 and 2, if there were 7 of those, I could deal.
7, huh? Okay.
I say that because like Sherlock Holmes is actually quite formulaic as well. You know, it's not just Fast and the Furious. So 8 Fast and the Furious, like if Fast and the Furious 9 came out, I'd be like, sure, whatever. I'm down. I'm sure I'll enjoy it. I'm sure I'll enjoy the crazy driving and the cool fight scenes. So in that same way, I really enjoyed the Sherlock Holmes movies. And I'm like, yeah, take it. Take my money. Let's go. Plus, like, to say that I expect quality out of him, it sounds wrong. But what I mean is just like, the dude delivers. I enjoy what he does. So Sherlock Holmes 5, yeah, do him. Set it up.
What's interesting, I wonder if he'll end up becoming more of a, we'll say, older figure in movies now, like being like because when he was first cast as Iron Man, he was still in his 40s, I think, and now he's in his fifth. Let's take a look, 53.
Okay, still very alive.
Still very capable of pulling off all kinds of roles at 53. So I wonder if he becomes like, the Samuel L. Jackson patriarch type character in other movies now, to where he's kind of the older, wiser advisor and bestowing wisdom and faith and taking that type of role.
Chris, I had no absolute expectations with Captain Marvel, but there were some things that I was thinking about. So in the comics right now, to my knowledge, because I have not read comics, I try to dial it back. Anyway, to my knowledge, right now in the comics, Iron Man is African American and female. Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
Okay. So you'll notice that in Captain Marvel, the main character has a friend who is African American. That woman has a daughter. So I'm like, are we looking at the next Iron Man? I had to ask myself that. I had to ask.
So they're so those are two different characters, right?
Yeah. Oh, now I do. Yeah.
So Monica Rambeau in the comics is a separate character than the Riri Jones, I think, or Riri.
Yeah, I think it's Riri.
Riri, who's Ironheart in the comics. So
yes,
but could they make that connection? Maybe. I mean, that would be interesting.
Well, the reason why I mention it is because, so again, like in the comics, in that way, the torch has already been passed. It's not even a theory. I assume Tony Stark in the comics still has some cool tech. I have no idea what he's doing. But in that same sense, like some people like me, because, I've read some of that, I expect it to happen already. So in my mind, I could totally see Tony Stark being the older guy giving the advice.
But see, I wasn't even talking about Tony Stark. I was talking about RDJ.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, what I mean is if he died, he could be spirit realm talk to.
Maybe.
But I get what you're saying. So this is from Mark Wahlberg, actually. And he was in an interview, and then they're like, he was told, you're going to play, okay, so it's about this young guy, right? He's a badass. Then there's an older guy, and like the older guy does these things or whatever. Like he's more giving advice. And then Mark Wahlberg's like, all right, sign me up. I'm ready. And I guess someone then told him, oh yeah, so we're hiring this new young actor. And then Mark Wahlberg's like, well, who am I going to play? Like, dude, you're playing the old man. Like he just wasn't, it just hit him. Like you're playing the old man guy. In his mind, and he's a fit dude, he's ready to do more. I'm okay with RDJ still doing the action-filled things. The flip side is, I don't know who that would be. Like, what character would that be? I don't know. Because actually on that note, Sherlock Holmes gets into a lot of fisticuffs. It's good stuff.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. So
Klingon of Sparta in the Twitch chat think he should do something way different, like become Master Chief in Halo or something out there like that. Nice change of pace, but still badass.
That would be fun. Part of me is like, should he be tied to another franchise? Clearly it's worked out here. I feel like some people don't always feel that way. DC movies. Sorry, I love DC. But anyway, I don't know. That would be cool though. I'm a huge Halo fan, so I would enjoy that. That would be cool. Actually, I was going to say, like, I think there's no face there ever in Halo. But anyway,
I don't think there is.
I don't want to pick it apart because that's not where I'm going with this. It is good. It is. I like that idea. Actually, okay, so this is something else I was going to mention. If you were to talk about like longevity and stuff, so Iron Man 1, the trailer drops, and I'm like, okay, let's see what this is. Let's see how it goes. And of course, you see the bulky gray suit, and I'm like, oh, well, one, I still want to see it because I'm curious. Two, are we about to get 2 hours of the bulky gray suit? Which would make sense if you're trying to like fully dive into the origin, because that was his origin, the giant ass suit, only the cool red and gold and all that stuff that came later. I had to ask myself that, would people like that? And instantly the answer was not even an issue. We go straight into the red and gold in the first movie. Like you see it and then you enjoy it. Yeah. So part of me is like, would you have actually, what do you think? Do you think the average person would have said, man, that bulky gray suit's still cool?
I don't think so. I think they needed to get through that part of the origin story relatively quickly. I don't think they could have stuck around with that too long.
See, I thought that too. Like, I don't know how the average person would react to that. For me, it was like, man, I want to see the red and gold. So I'm glad they did.
Absolutely. It had to happen.
I'm going to change it up a little bit here then. So this is for fun or funnish in writer land. So, building a giant universe, that is a writer thing. It's hard to do. Lots of stuff to juggle. And the commentary I heard before was other studios, let's just call them other studios, are not doing it well. So then the question becomes, why was Iron Man so good? Why did we enjoy that movie so much? And one of those points was, we hear the word Avengers. That does happen. But you know what? we don't hear it in the first like 2 hours. We hear it all the way at the end. So there is world building. Clearly, Nick Fury exists, but it's not peppered in constantly. There's a series now I'm not going to name because I'm going to crap all over it. And you're just watching the movie and then, oh, we're a little bit of world building. Okay, back to the plot. A little bit of world building, back to the plot again. I'm like, can we stop doing that? Can we just enjoy this movie? And the hope and the rush to create a universe is so pushed these days. It's unfortunate. I think the Marvel money making skills is incredible. And I don't think it's as simple as copy paste.
Well, the difference is a lot of movies and series, they try to create a world and do that whole building thing in 3 hours or in a
True.
very short amount of time. Whereas the Marvel Cinematic Universe was always planned to take all these years. They took a gamble with all the money in the world that they had at that point and just basically shot for the moon thinking that, hey, we're going to do this. We believe in it. And in 10 years, it's going to work out. After we've had all 20-something movies now and all that time to build leading up to the pinnacle in a couple weeks.
You know, on that note, I saw this thing on YouTube. It said, here's all the Marvel trailers. Enjoy. Guess how long the collection of trailers is? Do you know that answer?
Let's think about it. 22 movies, 3 to an hour and a half. We'll go with an hour and a half.
Okay. I believe it was 52 minutes.
Okay, an hour, sure.
But I'm just saying, that's the trailers. Like, that is a lot of trailers. Holy smokes. I'm enjoying the ride, obviously, but there's a lot of trailers.
So, we're talking about the universe, the world building. Where do you think the world goes from here? We know already, spoilers for anyone who missed last year's movie, but the snapping did happen, right? And we have our thought that a lot of it's going to be undone, more than likely. Yes. And we're also going to hypothesize that some of the older actors who've been there from the beginning are not going to continue after this. So those are like the basic frameworks that we're living in. And now you're talking about world building. Where does the world now go? What is the prediction? Anyone in chat will take yours too. Alvin, what's your prediction?
So I'm going to say this, and I imagine if I were to say this to the average person who does not read comics but does watch movies, that they'd be sad. But legit, I believe it's just going to go back to normal. Sad, right? Okay, so before I continue down that rabbit hole, I'll say the writer thing, okay? So let's say we're doing a movie and the beginning of it is, boom, a guy gets killed. Oh, this is bad, man. We got to figure out this case. Let's work on it. Okay, then it elevates. The entire nation's in trouble. Then it elevates, oh my God, the planet is going to explode if we do not solve this case. Now, in Writerland, they would say you cannot de-escalate from there. You cannot go back to a single murder. It makes no sense. The amount of stakes that have been raised just won't feel right. It won't fit right. Don't do that. Now, because these movies are all connected, we know that it's just going to get crazier and crazier. And I truly believe Endgame, especially with a title like that, there's going to be a lot of death. That's just how it is. But I do believe, and oh my God. Okay, so here's the thing, okay? Say I didn't know anything as a person that watches the news and I only watch the movies. I would say, oh my God, snapping the fingers, ridiculous. What happens next? Who knows? But I see stuff with Tom Holland being interviewed. I see trailers for the next movie. So one, we already know Spider-Man is like, he's in Paris or something. He's doing something, but Spider-Man is around and swinging. And on top of that, they have confirmed, oh yeah, this is after Avengers. This is after it. So I'm like, so he's alive and swinging. But you know, it's, as a comic book reader, so many things happen in so many ways that the retconning is just normal. For better or worse, it's just normal. You know, it just happens. So Spider-Man clearly still around. You know, maybe Iron Man's gone. Who knows? For the record, my belief is Cap dies. There's a couple of reasons for that. Now, one, we could have been totally trolled on this, which I would say applause and, you know, good job trolling me. But there's this thing where Chris Evans tweeted, hey guys, it's been fun, man. Such a blast working with you guys. Goodbye, everyone, or something like that. I forgot what he said. But when you read it, you're like, what is he saying? This is insane. Is he done? Did he just finish his last scene in this movie? Then like a week or two later or something? Hey guys, no, you guys took that out. No, that's not what it was. No, man, I'm still here. Don't worry. Just enjoy the movie, everybody. I'm like, okay, cause that first tweet really sounded like a guy who is done with the franchise. But of course, the higher ups will be like, no, we cannot have anyone thinking that. They need to go in not knowing who's going to die. And I'm like, you know what? Even if he did or didn't, it's fine. For instance, in Civil War in the comics, Cap dies. I'm pretty sure it was Civil War. Anyway, Bucky takes up the mantle. That's a thing. Bucky Cap. You see him with the metallic arm and he's Cap. So when we see Bucky Barnes in the movie, I'm like, oh, is this it? Are we seeing the new Cap? Is that what this is? So that could still be a thing. You know, he's less evil now, if I remember correctly from the movies. So that could still be him. But yeah, like retconning like that, whatever. Now, most people would say, no, Cap is Steve Rogers, period. Because if they don't read the comics, they wouldn't know. For me, though, I'm expecting the retcon, for better or worse. But yeah, so anyway, to answer your question, I believe totally normal. Sad to say it like that, normal.
By normal, you mean, what, you're going to say Cap dies, but everything goes back to normal?
Well, yeah, like that kind of change, maybe, but not, okay, like, one of the things people dumped on Man of Steel about was there's a huge fight scene, everything is ash and rubble. And then later on, okay, city's back, la 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 la. I'm like, whoa, how do you smash a city to pieces and come back in like 20 minutes, you know, or whatever, however much time. But for me, it's like, dude, it's comics, man. Crazy stuff happens all the time and then it gets erased. For better or worse.
From the Twitch chat, Sparta says, combining of the multiverses, there's still a lot of places to go. Celestial beings, maybe. And the Watchers have yet to make a full appearance.
Man, I would love to see, not necessarily the X-Men we know, although I enjoy them very much, but just X-Men and Avengers, you know, or Fantastic, man, there should absolutely be Fantastic Four already. Like, they need to be a part of this. It's a global thing. Thanos is coming, you know?
I think so too.
Lawyers, man. Yeah,
so here's my prediction. I truly believe that RDJ and Chris Evans are both done after this movie. They will not reprise their roles. However, this is Disney we're talking about. There's no way that they're going to kill them off. That's just my opinion. I think there's zero chance that they get killed off. Now, how they go about their way and fade into the sunset, I don't know yet. You know, maybe Iron Man just becomes one of those Messiah type people that is just in the background after that. You know, maybe he lives on as like a Jarvis type thing or whatever you want to call it. But I think the actors are done and they'll get written out of the movie somehow. The character mantles could be passed, but there's no way that they get killed off.
Oh, okay. So here, this is from the comics. So the equivalent would be the Avengers are flying around doing their thing, and then they see a civilization, a big civilization, maybe another universe, and it's going bad over there. So then Cap would say, I can't leave them. Look at them. They're having a terrible time. I need to go in there and fight on their behalf. Then maybe Iron Man would be like, you know, you're not going alone. I'm going to go with you. Then everyone else says, I guess we're all in. No, you guys stay back. Our Earth still needs you. We will live on in this different universe. We will make it better over there. One day we'll return. I'm like, I just saw that playing in my head as you were talking. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what I think could happen. Maybe it's another part of the multiverse. Take it for what you will. But I believe that they would not kill off the characters, even if they transfer the mantle.
So here's the thing, again, as a guy who watches the news and is up to date on real world stuff, which shouldn't exist because I'm just trying to enjoy the movies. But a long time ago, people were like, hey, can we get like a Black Widow movie? Why is this not happening? For the record, me and my friend, I call him Serial, we discussed that once, like, dude, I would pay money to see that. And he's like, yeah, me too. And then I guess because they plan everything out so far in advance, it's hard to just shoehorn that in, which I applaud them for not shoehorning it in. I know for sure there's going to be a Black Widow movie, or at least that's how they make it seem. So she lives. You know, see how terrible that is? I mean, it could be like a prequel or something, I guess. But she lives. I already seen the Tom Holland trailer. He lives. So the other people, I don't know. But I agree. I can see that. I can see Cap and Tony being like, nah, man, we're going to dial it back. Whatever that means. So we'll see. We'll see.
Dude, you know that Black Widow movie is supposed to be a prequel, right?
Oh, is it? I did not know
so.
that.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be,
I
prequel.
did not know that. Okay. Still cool. I'll absolutely pay money. See, now, for me, the next question is, who else is in it? Because I already know, like, they don't really do true solo movies. So...
Oh, I saw a headline at some point talking about who was in it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, prequel. That's cool too. I can see that.
All right, so I got another one for you. We're talking Avengers. We're talking predictions. So since the highlight today is Iron Man, RDJ, the face and the forefather of this franchise, we're gonna go with, and chat. You guys can participate too. Best Iron Man appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I am reading through the list. You can choose from Iron Man 1, 2, or 3, Incredible
Oh, okay.
Hulk, which he was in, Avengers 1, Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming, or Infinity War.
Oh man, interesting. Okay.
And
For me, it's
not necessarily your favorite movie. Best
yep, yep.
Iron Man appearance.
Okay, so this is two things. One, Civil War. I loved it so much, and the trailer where Bucky and Cap are passing the shield back and they're fighting Iron Man. Oh my God, ridiculous! I'm getting chills right now. Loved it. Having said that, I 1,000,000% enjoyed Iron Man versus Thanos. I'm gonna call them nanobots. I don't know what he was doing with his armor, but it was super cool. I loved all that stuff. So for me, best armor, hands down, the most recent one, which makes sense. That's what technology does. Yeah. But I think the best fight scene with Iron Man for me still is Tony versus Steve and Bucky. Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
So here is an interesting argument from the Twitch chat. Sparta saying Age of Ultron Iron Man.
Wow.
The internal battle of Tony creating the ultimate monster, i.e. Ultron, and then having to rectify and destroy it. That struggle. That's another interesting part too. Because I think that actually leads him into more of the psyche, I guess, that he experiences later on. It started with the whole Avengers 1, the Battle of New York, when he, took the missile up into the portal. And then he started getting those visions. And then Ultron didn't help at all in 2, because now it's a am I too powerful type argument, which again fueled the Civil War thing. So it's just a matter of where along the character arc you like. So for me, I'm going to stick with Civil War. I think that was, in terms of the character development and just what he had to go through in that movie, I think that was the best one. I might be a little biased because I like that movie a lot. But I'm digging the Age of Ultron argument.
Yeah, that armor is ridiculous. I will say this, as a man watching movies, I so agree with Cap. It's like, come on, Tony, tone it down. Now, as a guy who lives in a world with governments and criminals, man, I agree with Iron Man. Like, it's ridiculous the amount of power these guys are wielding. And I would like to know, like an officer has to learn how to use his gun. You don't just hand guns to people, you teach them, they pass the test, they learn some stuff. I totally get having superheroes sign up. So I also love the mother at the elevator. And like his reaction also was great. What's up?
No, yeah. That
So,
part of the movie, yes.
Yeah, the reaction when he grabs her wrist, like, hey, and then she's like, huh? And he goes, sorry, that's just how I am now. I worry about people trying to kill me. Like, that was a great moment. And then, of course, the speech, like, yeah, my son died, but you guys didn't care. You're too busy kicking ass. You could have died. Who knows? The superheroes are busy doing their thing. It's scary when you think about it.
So it came up in the chat, so we'll talk about it too. So Cap versus Iron Man as a character, seeing as we may not see these two characters anymore after this, how do you think that development has come along? What's your take on Cap versus Iron Man in terms of the characters themselves?
In the movies, one, I enjoyed the development. I thought it worked well. That part where Steve is like, if I see something going south, I have to get in there, and Iron Man's like, bro, you're so frustrating. I love that moment. It's great dialogue. Two, someone pointed this out to me, and I don't think about it. Actually, for the record, I believe the Marvel movies get a lot of passes that other movies don't, which is not fair to other movies. But anyway, Cap and Tony were really angry at each other for a long time. And then the next movie, that's cool, man. Let's just work together. I mean, they're both professional, but there should still be some animosity, considering how super angry they were. But Civil War was almost erased, which in a way I'm kind of cool with. I like that they just move along to the next story. Everything just flows better that way.
Wait, was Civil War actually erased? Because technically, all the way through Infinity War, they actually have not met again. It was one of those. He was gonna call him, but he didn't.
There was a couple of things. See, I don't have a full list, but there was commentary from like one movie to the next and continuity. So here, I'll go with one that's way more easy to agree with that I saw as well, but I said, screw it, I'm just enjoying the movie. Scarlet Witch had the crazy, crazy accent in the beginning. And in the more recent movies, no accent. So, I mean, you could argue that she just learned how to erase it, but I'm pretty sure the flip side of that is someone did their focus testing and they said, hey, let's have her lose the accent. Like, even her clothes change. I forgot if it was more or less cleavage, but it was just like, oh, you see the changes, and almost guarantee that's the hands of editors and higher ups, stuff like that. Okay. Anyway, I love what Cap and let me answer this question properly because my friend loves the comics and he's the guy who loves Captain Marvel. He was saying if Captain America dies, well, they already have another Captain, and I'm like, correct. Also, in the comics, Iron Man and Captain Marvel, they slam heads all the time. So that could be the next thing as well. So I could see Chris Evans, especially with that tweet, not being around anymore. Who knows? But then, well, RDJ still around. No problem. Okay, well, who's he fighting now? Now he's fighting Captain Marvel.
But that's assuming that RDJ sticks around.
Correct. My belief, especially with the comics and what my friend was saying, it makes perfect sense. I can see it totally. I can totally see it. Do you know the Civil War II storyline?
I do not, but in the chat, Cap is old-fashioned, Iron Man is always fearing the future, and yeah, there was a second Civil War, and you're right.
Correct.
There was,
Yeah.
and I'm not too familiar with that one.
I'm going to try to blow through it quickly. I think it's a great point, and anyone listening, I think if they don't know it, they'll enjoy it. So, in Minority Report, right, there's cops who catch guys who have not committed a crime yet. They have these oracle-type people, and they can see the future. So, like, let's say John Smith over there is going to kill his wife tomorrow. Well, we catch him now. The woman lives, and we catch the bad guy. Captain America and Winter Soldier, love that line. I thought the punishment came after the crime. See, that's correct. So anyway, in the comics, Captain Marvel, I forgot if she was for or against, but Tony was on the other side. And it's like, bro, we have the ability to prevent crimes. Why are we not using this? The flip side, of course, is, hey man, the future is not set. Shame on you for trying to do these things. Civil War Part 2. There you go. Yeah.
See, that would be an interesting thing to play along in the movies. However, that would mean that the same actors would have to continue. I don't think you could do it without that.
Correct. So part of me now that I'm saying these things and remembering what my friend said and reading the comics, I could see that, actually. I could see that. So, yeah, I don't know. Because, well, again, the Chris Evans tweet led me to believe he might be done in his own mind. Whether or not he is done, RDJ has never given me that impression. RDJ seems to be loving it as much as Wade Wilson. As much as Ryan Reynolds is enjoying being Deadpool. Like, I can see him not necessarily doing 10 movies, but I could see him wanting to. Like, he fits that character like a glove. And I feel the same thing applies here.
So, to cap off the episode, we'll see this through. I still didn't finish the last bet that we made, but so you're saying that there will be another Iron Man appearance. Like, RDJ is not done, and at the end of Infinity War, he's still there. Like, as Iron Man, and there's no, like... Okay, we'll leave it this... Okay, how about this? I say that at the end of Infinity War, Cap and Iron Man are gone.
Okay.
Don't know where, don't know why. It just leads you to believe that they're out, they're gonna get written out. You're saying that it'll be Cap and not Iron Man. For
the record, I totally know where you're coming from for this. But for the sake of this, sure, I'll be on the other side of the fence.
Really?
Having said that, the likelihood of killing off two giants like that is low. I will say that. I get where you're coming from, and I could see the new mantle, especially with Bucky right there. I can see someone replacing him, but that is two huge names they'd be getting rid of. And that seems unlikely. My gut says, I'm not sure. So but specifically for this discussion, totally, I'll be on the other side. We'll see how it goes. I'll be on the other side.
Okay, we got to figure out what the odds are going to be for this one. I will come through on the last one. I will. My voice has been gone for like the past month, but it'll happen. So Twitch chat and anyone listening on all the popular podcast services, this is bet number 2. At the end of Infinity War, Chris says we got 2 write-offs. I'm not saying they're dead. I'm just saying it will indicate that they might be on their way out. And Alvin's going to go with just Captain America.
Yes.
And there's a chance
Well,
that both of us are wrong, and that's fine
exactly.
too.
Exactly. Well, I mean, so the last one was singing because it was singing.
Yes.
I don't know what. Okay. How about this? So I do not consider myself an amazing artist, and I'm sure I offend some artists by saying that I consider myself an artist at all. Chris, you definitely don't consider yourself an artist.
No,
right?
I can't draw for shit.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Chris, I'm throwing it down. If, actually, could be both of us. If you are wrong, you will have to draw Iron Man. Why not? If I am wrong, I'll have to draw Iron Man and Cap.
Wait,
Okay.
so if I'm wrong, I have to draw who? I have to draw Iron Man?
Well, yeah, so RDJ. Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Both of us were both then. How's that? You draw Iron Man and Cap. If I am wrong, I will draw Iron Man and Cap. And then you can post it on whatever stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Okay, see, so that there's a public humiliation thing. You do not prize your own drawings, then it'll be like, hey man, ha ha ha, bad artist, which of course I don't roll like that, but we're being silly. And I just thought, cause like, well, there was singing for Lady Gaga. I don't know, I can't wield the Infinity Gauntlet. I don't know what I'm going to do to lose this bet. You know what I mean?
All right.
Money.
It is set in stone, and we'll do this. And that's a perfect place to cap off the show, guys. We want to thank everyone for jumping into Twitch chat and hanging out with us this week as we nerd out about the MCU, Infinity War, and most of all, the face of it, Robert Downey Jr., and the amazing work he's done with it. If you like what you're listening to, we are broadcasting this live at twitch.tv/HowsItNetwork. Check us out, jump into chat like Klingon of Sparta and Neeks today, and interact with us, have fun with us, join the conversation. If you like what you're listening to, this show is on all the popular podcast services, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, anything you like. Follow us on social media at House and Network, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram to stay up with all the latest news.
And if you like that Alvin-y goodness, please visit alohalvin.com. You know, I have a collection of articles. It's called 7 Habits of Highly Effective Writers. I love it. I think you will too. So anyway, I write like how I speak. And if you enjoyed me today, I'm sure you enjoy the site too.
And if you want to see more of me, I'm at HowsItChris on Twitter. I try to post up whatever I'm thinking, feeling, and funny stuff. Hope you enjoy it. We want to thank you again for lending us your beautiful ears. And it's not goodbye. We shall see you later.